Hi and welcome. I'm Lisa. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm participating in a collaboration hop with Imagine Crafts and Joy Clair Stamps. So welcome. Be sure you're hopping along, leaving a comment at each stop of the hop for a chance to win a fun prize. You can find all the details along with the next person in the hop listed in the description box below. I have a quick and simple card to share with you using a few products from both companies, and I'll talk more about them as I'm using them throughout the video. Jumping right into this by stamping with this Joy Clair Sketchy Chevron background stamp onto 100-pound Nina Avalanche white cardstock using Versafine Clair Nocturne ink. Now, this is one of my favorite inks, and I'm constantly grabbing for my Versafine Clairs when I'm stamping backgrounds or I want to stamp something quickly with my acrylic block like sentiments. And anytime I want a sharp, crisp stamped image and I'm not using my Copic markers, I'll grab for the Versafine Clairs. Now I'm going to start stamping the leaves and acorns along with the berries from the Joy Clair Love Endures stamp set using my Memento Tuxedo black ink because I'm going to do some Copic coloring. So I went ahead and I ran these through my scan and cut to cut them out, and I'm using one color on each leaf. I'm using BG23, YR68, and Y21. No shading, nothing fancy with this, just color in each leaf. For the acorn, I'm using N2 to the top and N4 on the bottom, and then for the little berries, N0. Again, simple coloring with this, and I'm done with that. My stamped background, I'm going to go ahead and center that up on my card base. Now you can use your on-point glue, you can use tear tape, whatever you have available to add this to the center of an A2 card base. That's what you need to use. Now it's a little bit long for an A2 card base, so I'm just going to take my paper trimmer and trim that excess down. So now that we have that done, I had a couple of extra die cut pieces in a scrap bowl I have. So I wanted something that I could use to anchor all of my pieces to the front of my card. So that's why I just said, you know what, I have these, let's use them. So I added those with my on point glue. I'm using round foam adhesives to add all the leaves and the berries and the acorns on top of that. It's almost like a wreath on front of our card. Now I'm going to stamp my sentiment from the Love Endures stamp set. I'm using the sentiment Give Thanks, and I'm just using a scrap piece of paper here, and I'm using Versafine Clair Nocturne ink with my acrylic block and my sentiments, and I like to stamp them right along the very edge of that scrap paper just to make sure it just makes it a little bit easier to cut them straight when I get ready to take them to the paper trimmer. Now you saw me stamp this off one time. I just flipped that scrap paper over and stamped it off once because this is the first time I'm using the stamp set, so I wanted to make sure that I was getting a nice stamped impression on that first go round, and these stamps are gorgeous. They stamp beautifully. So I'm going to trim this down with my paper trimmer, add foam adhesive strips to the back, and then add them to the card. I kind of put them on an angle. I thought it added a little bit of interest to the card. So here I'm using my on point glue to add some gold sequins around the leaves and the berries and acorns, and I do believe that is going to wrap us up. I hope you enjoyed joining me. Be sure that you check the description box below for the next link, and make sure you're leaving a comment on each stop along the hop for a chance to win that fun prize. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Have an amazing day.